Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second episode of Couch Potato Queens Reality Realness Circle Chat. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by my two good pals. We have Josh right here. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing fabulous. Yes.
I just about gave Josh a heart attack because I showed up 1 minute before the podcast started.
Alex goes on Alex time, so like when Alex says I'm gonna be there at like 12:30, it means like 12:58 and 30 seconds.
I'm an egomaniac. What can I say? And very excited to be joined again by our co-host. We have Chantele. Chantele, how are you doing?
I'm super fab. This has been a really great week in general for reality television. Like I've been loving my reality TV obsession life, and the circle didn't disappoint. So loving to be here. Loving all the things I love.
Before we get into it, Chantele, Alex and I have been watching The Circle UK this week, and Alex already finished it. I'm halfway through. So.
It was good, right?
What a wild ride.
I'm living.
I'm just going to say it right now that this show is bananas, and I love it. Like, just The Circle in general, UK, US, like whatever. It's just bananas. It brings out the weirdest sides of people, and I'm obsessed.
Good. I gotta finish The Circle France next. I started watching the first couple episodes, and I'm like, I'm into it.
I love that. I started watching Brazil, but I dropped off real quick.
Yeah, if it's in subtitles, it's gonna be harder for me. We'll see.
My dyslexic self, girl.
I speak French, so like it's kind of like, oh, I'm practicing my French right now. Like that's how I'm feeling.
Canadian thing. You guys all learn.
She's an international. You guys all
learn French in Canada. Like, aren't you required to learn French?
Well, yeah, you learn French for most of your schooling, at least up into grade, or as you would say, 10th grade. So then I continued on, and then I lived in Montreal for 8 years. So my French is like okay, because I haven't had to speak French really for 10 years, except for when I went to Paris. But like, I loved like, ooh, I'm practicing now. I'm like, oh, I understand what he said. I'm like, ooh, that's how you say that in The Circle? Ooh, le cercle, le cercle. I'm like, oh.
Come on, Nikki doll.
I love that.
We love it. That. And absolutely, Adrian, that is very this week. Very this week. And thank you for keeping us on track, because this week of The Circle was bonkers. It really was. I can't think of any other way to put it. So
it was legs and dairy, girl. Legs and dairy.
Legs and dairy, all of it.
Yeah.
So we start by finding out what our big cliffhanger was from last week, which is Courtney's power in the inner circle, which ended up being that Courtney gets a secret profile as the Joker, and Courtney's able to speak to the two new players before anybody else. And later on get to choose who the new influencer is. At first, I was like, wow, lame power. But then when we found out later what it was, I was like, okay, you get to pick an influencer. But at first, I was like, oh, that's kind of boring.
Well, I was kind of thinking, like, if I was a new person and I had someone playing as the Joker, like, I'd be like, oh, I'm definitely not going to believe anything that this person really says.
Right?
Because they definitely have an agenda. And so, yes, it was not necessarily lame, because you could definitely kind of, if you're tactful, you could steer things in a certain direction. But I thought it was a decent power. It didn't disrupt things too much, I don't think.
Totally.
I would have loved it to be bigger, where like Courtney had like the sole like vote to eliminate someone. That would have been a twist, okay? That would have been fun.
I don't think you would have liked that though.
But the same person would have gone home, I feel like. Tara Alicia would have gone, I think.
Not in the same way. Not in the same way. She needed to go home the way she went home.
Can we talk about her for a second? Like, she just had the full circle. Started off being the player that I thought was playing the best game within the first two episodes. Like, she was right off the bat And then it became overplaying. And by the time it was just a full circle here that she did. And everyone was like, bye by the end. Like, get out of here.
Oh yeah, no, totally. That did screw people's games for sure. Because Courtney did something smart where Courtney like catfished as the Joker, which
Basically.
was a smart move.
So smart.
That was a smart move. There's really no other way to do that. Like if you go in just being like anonymous, that could end up screwing you over in the long run. So I think Courtney did the best thing you could do, especially picking someone like Emily who doesn't really have a wonderful strategic game. So if someone were to call Emily out on being the Joker, I don't think that she would,
To defend herself in a way
Yeah.
that was believable.
Yeah, it would just be like, okay, girl, whatever you say, Joker.
I forgot. Did Emily ever get like wind that she was being like pegged as the Joker? She never did. So that was a great move. It was a
Yeah.
great move.
It really was. It was a very like it was there. That is the only way to do that power, really, I think.
I was really surprised that Tara Alicia took the bait there, though. So Kat and her have a conversation, and they're having kind of a girl chat thing, and she gets the information that what the Joker said. Well, that the Joker is going to have an agenda, and I just thought that it seemed that it was really obvious that the Joker was trying to pin it on Emily. I know that we see all, so I'm like, I would have known. I know that it's a different scenario if you're actually in the circle, but I just thought that it was just too obvious that the Joker was Emily and that she was trying to pin it to out Chloe and Tara Alicia. So I just thought that she should have had a little more discernment there instead of just going full on the Emily train, Emily's the Joker train. That was a complete misdirect. I thought it was a little bit strategy.
I feel like why it was so why she was so on board with it is because it did not really that aligned with her fantasy. If Emily was like this snake who was doing all that, that would work in Tara Alicia's favor.
For sure.
If it was something like Chloe was it and she was throwing your name out there, if it was something more like that, where it was, because I feel like her and Chloe were more aligned, at least in Tara Alicia's eyes, then maybe she would have been a little more hesitant about it. But I feel like that worked with her game. So she was here for it. She's like, okay, why question it?
Do we want to talk about our newbies?
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about Kat? Kat is incredible.
Please, let's talk about Kat.
Everything about Kat is incredible. First of all, Kat is gorgeous. She's stunning. She's an Amazonian woman. Love that. She is so smart. Her reads on everyone are basically there. She knows what's going on. I think she's playing a great game already. I'm a huge Kat fan.
Oh, totally. Kat is exactly what the circle needed right now. Somebody who is just so pure, because I feel like that's kind of what we're lacking right now, is just the genuine nice person, Yeah. So it's awesome that we have her now.
And I think though, as much as, it's very interesting to have the catfishes, we need to have in the circle, that the producers are like, hey, you want to be on the game, you have to go in as a catfish of something of some sort. I get that it's part of the game, but the catfishes aren't generally that interesting. Because I've said before, they don't have a life story and they don't have they can't tell something that happened to them because they don't have a full life to live to play off of with these people. So they're just kind of boring and trying to get out of conversations. But Kat is just full of energy and she's excited to be there, and she's picking up on these two-dimensional people, or not so much people, and she's like, yeah, I don't buy that, she's not a real person, and I love that she is actually the catfish hunter without actually calling herself the catfish hunter. So living for Kat, gorgeous, absolutely. I want her to do well, go all the way. I want her to find all the catfishes. I want her to be surprised by Trevor.
Everyone's gonna be surprised by Trevor. Wow.
Oh, I know. I'm excited for that. Also, so I took note of everybody that she thought was real or fake, and she immediately clocked Emily as a dude, which I loved. She was just like, "Oh, that's a dude." Like, thank you for finally saying it. She's immediately suspicious of Lance. Like, of course.
Is the worst. I'm sorry, Lisa. I'm sorry, Lisa. I know you probably want to do justice to your boss. You don't want to say anything that maybe is out of his character or makes him look bad. I think it makes him look bad that you didn't say that you're going to do something for charity. But she just doesn't do anything. She doesn't give him a personality. He's not fun. He's not funny. Like, she is doing, in my opinion, the least, and it's not working at all.
Not. No.
It doesn't work for her at all. But I think part two, what we're going to get with Lisa, though, with this new twist at the end, I think it's going to be a little bit better. I think the two of those two together are going to be good.
Yeah.
We'll be going to order here. So, you know.
So Kat immediately recognizes Chloe from Too Hot to Handle. So it seems like Kat is like a reality show buff. Like, she's seen it all. So I like that for her. So that means she's going into this with like some, gameplay knowledge. But what really confused me is that she thought River was real. Like, she was like, "Oh yeah, this guy's real."
I think it's the photo, though. I think with the big hair. So she probably doesn't know anybody like River. So any sort of personality that comes through, she's like, "Oh, okay, that's what that type of guy would be like." I think she just doesn't have a reference point to what a River type personality would be for her to clock that it's off. And so I think it's just so outside of her.
Point. I feel like that's kind of why River is doing so well as a catfish, is because Lee has chosen to play such like an out there person that you can't be like, "Oh, like that sorority girl would never say that," because like, who the fuck is River? I don't know anyone like that.
I do think, though, of the catfishes, River and Trevor are doing the best job, or Delisa and Lee. They're doing the best job with catfish. I would not think either of them are. I mean, like, if you dig into it a little bit, you'll be like, okay, Trevor's definitely a woman, but like, you may not. The two of them, I think, are doing a good job.
I want to bring up Adrian's comment right here. What do y'all think about the leather jacket with gold buckles or silver buckles on the shoulders moment?
That's a good move. I was living.
It's a good move, but like Lisa, if she was a better player at all, she's been like, "Oh my god, I've done so many tours. I do not even remember that jacket. Like I wouldn't remember that jacket." She could have played off not remembering it, not saying that her sister has it probably stored in the closet. It's like, no. People are trying to trick you and trap you because they don't believe you're a catfish. Say something believable, please, Lance. Like, do something. And she's always just like content and satisfied with whatever answer she gives. And I'm like, you really shouldn't be here, because that was very bad.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree fully. I think that if she would have played it off like, I don't remember, I don't know her, like, that would have been a lot. I think it would have been better for her game. But I think she messed it up the first night she was in the game, with the charity thing, like, where she said she wouldn't give it to charity and do an NSYNC reunion tour. That ruined it for her immediately. I was like, your days are numbered. You in danger, girl. Okay.
That's danger. And like the fact that she's not even seeing that she's walking into the trap here that Kat set up for her, like, it's kind of like if somebody was on the tour, they would know whether or not you were lying or not about this. So play it safe and say something that you can't be misconstrued as lying or not knowing what went on, other than say that you didn't know, you don't remember. Saying you don't remember is better than lying and being wrong.
True. Can we talk about our shirtless man who had his shirt on maybe for 2
I was waiting for it. I was just wondering whether or not we're going to talk about Mitch.
Where's our beautiful shirtless man? He's a virgin. Where is he?
I was wondering if he was ever going to wear a shirt, and whether or not it was part of his contract to be like always shirtless, because I was like, does he not have a shirt? He's going to be frying his pancakes shirtless? Like, it's just like, where's his shirt?
The one thing I don't like about him is that he's Ed's brother, and I was not an Ed fan last season. I thought Ed was like kind of problematic, mildly, his mom was nice, but was not a fan of him. So I'm like, oh great, it's his brother. It's another Ed. But I don't really mind him. I don't hate him.
I like him. I like the fact that he is decently sussing out the people that are fakes. Like he's kind of on the money there. Him not being able to suss out Emily though, I thought was really strange because I'm like, yeah. Emily's flirting and talking about like leg day, and I'm just like, I don't really see how that would be a way to connect in here. I'm like, but he seems to enjoy flirting with Emily and obviously with Chloe. So I like him.
I did too. Like, it was definitely like a different vibe. By the way, everybody, Alex is having a computer. She's restarting her computer right now. So we're gonna, live how it works. So yay. All right. But basically with him, I went into it thinking he is gonna be some like the jock who's like a D-bag and like whatever. And I like the virgin thing. I think it adds a little bit of, okay, he's not like all the other boys kind of thing. But I'm kind of confused how he's a virgin because he's like, does not give virgin vibes, like, at all. Like, does he to you?
No, I'm wondering if it's like the Colton effect, being that maybe hasn't explored enough, and so he hasn't been in a long-term relationship, maybe, and doesn't know what he's interested in, maybe.
Could be religion. Maybe he's religious. He has a cross, so it could be a religious reason why he's a virgin and saving himself till marriage. I don't know. There's props to them. I'm not one of those people. Props to them, mama. But
he kind of wants to be flirty and stuff like that, and so it is very surprising that he's a virgin just with it. But he could just be all talk, no action, maybe.
Well, he's definitely a gentleman, though, because, let's talk about, like, the flirting. Let's go for the little triangle here. Because as we know, Chloe's been trying to get on Trevor since episode 1, our girl Chloe, which we all love. Like, Chloe's one of my top people. I just love her to pieces. I just 100% love this girl. She's trying to get on Trevor. Now she sees this man coming in. She's like, never mind, I'm going this way now. And she's trying to, get on Mitchell. And at first they have this super flirty conversation where they're talking about size and if he's big or not. And I'm like, oh, girl, this is getting too out for television. That's why that's on Netflix. What were your thoughts on that?
I'm totally like with the producers like, oh, convenient that Chloe's in a bubble bath while this interaction is happening, isn't it?
Okay, but me and Alex were totally thinking about this. The bubble bath, like, you know, she said she was taking a chilled bubble bath. Like, who takes a chilled bubble bath? What's this, like British slang or something? Like, what was that?
I didn't notice, but maybe like if it was too hot, her makeup would start sweating and stuff like that. So maybe it was like because it was planned. She's like, we'll just make sure the water's not too hot, and I would be able to stay in there for the entire conversation.
Right?
Maybe. Or chill as in just like chill and relax, like a chill, relax. Like, I don't know what an aggressive bubble bath would be, but like
an aggressive bubble bath, hashtag aggressive bubble bath, hashtag chilled bubble bath. We're doing hashtags, like, the stories do hashtags for everything. That was like random, obnoxious hashtags that like no one would ever say anyway. Like
at the end, we should go through all the hashtags and just be like, what were all the hashtags of the season? And it's like,
hashtag Alex may not make it. I don't get Me and Alex have a little inside joke of that one.
Me and Josh have been texting with hashtags now since we've been trying to get more into the circle and hashtag it up. I did hear y'all, because me and Josh is right over there in the other room, so I could hear y'all talking about the chilled bubble bath, and I do have thoughts about this.
Okay.
Excuse me? Please go back, and anybody watching this, please go back and look at it. Let us know if we were wrong. But she literally says, I'm sitting in a chilled bath, So I'm like, girl, are you just sitting there taking a cold shower? Like preemptively? Like, come on, Chloe, girl.
Producer planned. It can't be too hot because it would be too steamy for a camera, maybe. It's too steamy for her makeup. And so I think that it was set up.
Absolutely. I can.
We love Chloe here. We all stand Chloe. Like, Chloe is the queen of the circle. We know. Chloe's not going to win. I do not think Chloe's going to win this competition. But, like, Chloe's
I think
definitely
she'll get to the final, though. I think she'll get to the
for
final.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Chloe's definitely a contender for finale night, in my opinion.
So I know we're jumping the gun here, but what if you had to say right now, out of the people in the circle, who would be in the finals? Chloe.
Kat. I think Kat's going to be there. I think River's going to be there. I think Trevor's going to be there. And
there's only 4.
No, there's 5. That's the 4 then.
There's 2 people. Wait, what was it for the circle? Felix, Enrica, Saeed. No, there was 5. Tom.
Oh, there is 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Chloe, Trevor, River, Kat, and then there's a 5th one, and it's really obvious. And
Mitchell might get to the end if Kat and Mitchell kind of stay strong.
Yeah. Mitchell.
I don't know. I can see Trevor getting like weird with him. You know what I mean? I can see there being like some dude bro energy that doesn't go over well. And I can see our new profile that's coming in not liking Mitchell.
Yeah.
You think though? What do you okay, so let me set that up. Set that up so that we can talk about those.
Okay. So we know that on our circle chat we skip and skedoodle all around these 4 episodes. We go however we want, whenever we want. So cut to Emily and Lance getting blocked. They end up coming back in and getting a new profile that they will share together. And I'm very excited about it because it looks like an old motorcycle dad.
Wow.
And I'm like, just what a wild thing for these 2 people to have to be. And I feel like neither of them are going to know how to play this, which will kind of make them do a good job at playing this.
So what do you think about Lee/River? So the new profile is going to be somebody that's seemingly in Lee's age range. They might have some similar life experience. So do you think River is going to gravitate towards him and maybe be able to suss out that he's a cash bitch just by like the language that was used, the hashtags that will be used, or emojis or non-emojis? So I'm curious if Lee is going to befriend or like suss out. And I also thought it was I felt bad for Emily and Lisa getting blocked that way because like sometimes I just want them to do it the regular way. Like this the bottom 2 being blocked. I'm like, no, but I kind of like pushing for people to stay and pushing for people to go and hearing their reasonings why. So those are my 2 points about that.
I agree. I feel like it was unfair, but I mean, it's a big twist. Like, it's not like they usually, it's very like UK this episode. Like these 4 episodes, they tried to throw in some little UK twists that they do. Like they did like the cloning one, and they do the pair, they eliminate 2 people and pair them up as one person. So like, I get that. It does suck because I think that Emily could have like, I think Emily could have done, no, I don't think Emily could have done damage control. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that mannequin face? Oh my God, girl, that just revealed you. That revealed you straight up. She may as well have written on the mannequin, I'm a dude. Like, may as well have done that.
Like across the forehead. Before we get into these mannequins, I do want to bring up Adrian's comment of, so if Kat and Chloe had become the influencers, who do you think they would have blocked? And who do you think?
Emily.
I still think it would have been Emily.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still think it would have been Emily or Lance.
Yeah. Who would Chloe? Chloe didn't care for Emily more because as soon as she became part of the Kardashians with the C, she was like, Emily who? So she probably would let Emily go here and not fight it. And Kat would probably be pushing for Lance, being like, it's not Lance. So Yeah, it probably would have been the same outcome, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to remember too, is that it probably both of those players were on their way out. Yeah, so let's absolutely get into these mannequins because one, what a fun challenge, and two, you poor thing, Emily. Like, oh my God, that was so embarrassing. Like, people need to realize when they go into the circle that you do have to be able to do some physical things. Like, there are some like physical challenges in the circle. And like, if you are not good at painting, you probably shouldn't play like a girl if you don't want people to like make a gender stereotype about you. Be like, oh, all women can paint.
Is that I would assume if I'm going in as a catfish, the producers are most likely going to throw in some challenges that I'm going to have to overcome in order to keep my identity a secret. And so I would have to know that person inside and out so I could play as though I'm that person. So being a cute little sorority girl, I'm sure she's taken a painting class or some sort of art class in her entire life. I'm sure she's done one. I wish that he either like played it off like, oh my God, I really never wear makeup. This is so like just maybe play that up a little bit more and like, oh, that picture of mine, I didn't do that makeup. I got my makeup done professionally or something, so people can be like, oh, like maybe she just could be really bad. Or why did she just make it more abstract? You know what I mean? And less like trying to do it and doing it poorly. Because if she just like painted it a different color even and just made it maybe non-realistic and adorned it with like cool stuff, maybe it would be like more of a personality thing as opposed to like particulars about makeup and being good at doing makeup. So I think he challenged very poorly and handled the aftermath even worse.
Like I related to that because I'm like, oh man, like if I ever went on the circle, I'd want to play as myself. But if I got a challenge like that, I can't do fucking makeup. Like at all.
You talk about it all the way up until that challenge. You should be telling people in private chats, I can't do makeup. You know what I mean? You need to tell people that they know that about you, so it matches up for a challenge like that. That's what you
I think in your photos, though, it wouldn't seem like you would be somebody that necessarily knew how to do amazing makeup perfectly.
Oh, yeah. They'd be like, yeah, all of Alex's pictures, she's not wearing any makeup. That checks out.
But Alex, you can do like we were talking about that. You can do some like goth stuff though. You should have done it goth up. That would have been good.
But what I was thinking is what I would have done. Like I work at Electric Forest, and I would have done
like a festival. So.
I would have done like some crazy like, you know, like rainbow hair and like, you know, rainbows and stuff. And I would have been like, oh, festival outfit, you know what I mean? Or something like that, because it can kind of cover up that you don't know what you're doing with the makeup. So exactly what you were saying. And hello, Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany.
Yes. Absolutely watch The Circle. It's so good. So good. I'm so glad you're watching it, Tiffany.
We're so happy about that.
It's fierce. It really is.
It's a great show.
Challenge, though, Emily just like was deflated, and I know it was just probably a little bit for the camera, like crying to the ground, really upset about like what he was doing. And I was laughing so hard though because the music that they were playing, and he's just so upset and melting to the ground. And then this terrible mannequin, they just kept cutting back to the mannequin face at this sad music. It was so funny to me. Like, I'm sorry that he messed up so badly, but the whole sequence of events there was hilarious.
I will say too, Trevor kind of was wild to me in this challenge because I'm like, Delisa, why are you doing so good in these challenges? You are not winning an advantage. You're not like, there's no reason to win these challenges.
I agree. And I think Trevor's kind of gave away that Trevor is a woman. Trevor looks really fun.
Like, what do you mean? Why are you giving him some blush?
I'm sorry.
Man, no, would not do that.
There's no way that real life Trevor would sit there and be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put some rosy cheeks on this. Like, no.
I feel like... giveaway for sure, in my opinion. It was way too pretty.
Yeah, it was pristine.
It was definitely too pretty. It looked like a woman did it. Or someone that's super femme. And I don't look at Trevor and be like, super femme. No. I don't say yes, queen, when I look at Trevor. Sorry.
No, not at all. What did you think of Jonathan making a little cameo appearance on the?
I love Jonathan Van Ness.
Yep, pennies. I love him.
I'll give you a little, some fan info or some celeb info. So Anthony, I've known for a really long time. So when I was living in Montreal, him and I took acting classes for years together with the same coach. And so I knew him before he moved to New York and became, out of the closet, basically. So he was still in the closet when we did all these acting classes together. And I remember some of the interesting struggles that were going on were like, it was like intimate women, male-female scenes. It just, there was a disconnect, and it was like something that he was always working on in class. And now we learned why is because he wasn't really feeling that kind of connection. So yes, so in early 2000s, like 2005 to 2000, I don't remember when he moved to New York, maybe 2009 or so. We took classes together.
That's so cool.
Facebook friend.
I love it.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I think Anthony's probably like the coolest one in the Fam Five.
I mean, I love Jonathan Van Ness.
But Jonathan's not like cool. You know what I mean? Like Jonathan's like fierce, but Anthony's like cool.
Yeah.
From Montreal, Montreal vibes. People in Montreal are pretty cool.
Exactly.
All Canadians are cool. I love people in Canada. Y'all are a lot nicer. People in Canada are nicer. They know more about history. They know more about our history than we do. Every Canadian that I have met knows more about U.S. history than United States citizens.
Probably. Yeah.
I love it.
Surprise.
It's so funny.
But I did love seeing Jonathan Van Ness, but I will say Jonathan Van Ness was like influencing the game. Like Jonathan Van Ness was like, Emily, this was a struggle. And I'm like, Jonathan, you are full on calling these catfish out. You are influencing these people so hard right now. And it was almost like too much. I felt like.
Do you think he knows who made what? Because it's not actually live. It is pre-recorded. So like, could he just literally be looking at these mannequins and giving his response? Or do you think that he has like an agenda and like he knows like, oh, that person made this?
I feel like that is an opportunity for production. You know what I mean? Like anytime there's something like this, I'm like, that is an opportunity for production. Like,
yeah.
I feel like they wanted Emily and Lance to be the joint profile. So they probably put this in now. You know what I mean?
And speaking of Emily and Lance being together as a joint profile, I kind of explained this to Alex. I kind of give it like the ice climbers effect. I think the two of them on their own are not good characters, but you put them together, and I think it's a funny character. I feel like a Lance or like a Lisa and Jack. You put them together, I think they're funny. I think that they're gonna be a riot until they go together.
Well, I think actually like Jack is going to help Lisa be better because they'll be doing some back and forth and soundboarding some ideas and be like, no, say that. No. Like they're going to have some like disagreements in what to say. And so I think that them coming to figuring out what to type will be interesting. And I think it will help them create like a decent profile, like a real, kind of more real person.
Yeah, because they kind of complement each other in a way where what one is good at, the other one lacks. And what's wild, though, is that Lisa's not really good at anything, though.
Well, she has Jack now, so Lisa will be fine.
She's not great, but maybe she wasn't great at playing Lance because maybe she has an NDA, like maybe, she can't say this or can't say that. And so maybe she was handcuffed a little bit to him actually being a celebrity that she knows for what she could and could not say. And so maybe she just said nothing.
Yeah, I feel like she kind of shot herself in the foot with that one because she probably wasn't allowed to like say something that she was going to donate it to charity, like if her prize, she probably wasn't allowed to like give away NSYNC secrets or whatever. So I feel like she kind of just set herself up for failure there. So this comment from Adrian, do you guys think that Jack and Lisa will go far on the new profile?
No. No,
It
they're not going to go far.
depends. I mean, obviously they're going to be safe for the next blocking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that profile just on its own is going to be somebody that a lot of people will be like, oh my God, I need to be friends with that person necessarily. So I don't know if they have the friend effect of like people wanting to get to know them really. I feel like River will gravitate towards them, as I said. But everybody else, I just don't know if they're going to care for them. So it's really going to have to be what Jack and Lisa are bringing to that character in order for them to stay a little bit longer. So they better make him funny as hell. He has to be funny.
Yeah. I feel like this guy is going to come in and have to be like the granddad of the group. You know what I mean? And I feel like Jack and Lisa are going to try and get in with Mitchell because they're going to try and be like, oh, we're going to do like a father-son thing with Mitchell. But I don't think Mitchell's going to be about it.
I wonder I wish that the circle, they gave like a profiles to choose from that are all challenging. Cause like they wanted to give profiles that would be hard for any of them to do, for them as a duo to do. So I'm sure there's more people that would be challenging without, having to step into any stereotypes specifically or any racial things. And so I wish that they got to choose and be like, and so you can hear the reasonings as to why they would pick like, oh, we picked that person because like he kind of reminds me of my dad, and like my dad does this, and this, and so we can draw from that. Or no, do you know what, we could do this because like so and so, you know what I mean? Like I wish that we could see a little bit more pattern as to why they might have chosen one person over another instead of just being given a profile that they may not have any way to play well.
Yeah, for anyone watching, I'm not going to say what season it is, but in an international season of The Circle, they have a priest that is a joint profile. And I'm kind of like, man, that's not fair to give someone a priest. And I think you were saying that last week, Chantele, is that when you give someone a priest, it just kind of like puts them in a box that they really can't go anywhere with.
Yeah.
Like, you can't inject part of yourself into the catfish because those are the catfish that go the farthest, are the ones that use a photo but then are just themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's why River's doing so well, because Lee's really just being himself but with a young guy's face.
Same with Delisa and Trevor, because Delisa knows her husband very well. And last season, Rebecca, you know what I mean? That's why Rebecca did very well because of that.
Yeah, just being genuine people with someone else's face. But when you have such like a caricature like Lance or Emily or a priest or a motorcycle granddad, it's like, this is just like goofy. And where do you go with that?
It's too two-dimensional. It's too obvious that you don't know anything about this person. And so unless they just want them to crash and burn, like they're like, well, we'll just take two episodes of interest maybe here instead of like looking out for the longevity of these two players actually potentially winning. So they did dirty, I think, but gave it a second chance. So they got a second chance, which is one thing, but definitely it was producer meddling as to why Emily is out. And so they owed it to him or her.
Yeah.
And I wish that they got to at least choose from a few profiles who they want to work as, because
even like 3 profiles,
like you could choose between these people.
That would have been a fun cliffhanger if it was like, you can choose between these 3 profiles, and then they're like, we're going to choose. And then it's like, music. We would have been gagged. We would have been like, who are they choosing?
For sure.
Actually.
Right? That would have been fun. So, Circle, if you're watching, please do that.
Love.
Please do that, Circle. God. But these episodes, though, I feel like were some of the most like producer pulley strings episodes that I've seen of US Circle so far.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that what the US isn't understanding about the international seasons is that they are really bringing in characters, like very interesting personalities that are very different. And that is what I think is making the UK version so dynamic and so like wild, and all these catfishes are working because like it's just, there's just so wild, these people.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like the casting, as much as I like everybody, it's a little bit flat. And so I think that they think that it's the twists that's what makes the UK ones great, but no, it's actually the casting and the people that make it so great, that are maneuvering these twists. And so,
is it on Channel 4, the UK one?
Pardon me?
Is it on Channel 4, the UK
Correct.
one? So that does not surprise me why they're good at casting, because when BB UK was at its height was when it was on Channel 4. The casting they did for BB UK was incredible. Like the Nikki Graham years was when during the Channel 4 period. So that doesn't surprise me because they were amazing at casting back then too. They cast really dynamic, different people, and it's so good.
Yeah. So that's what I'm feeling, is that like I like these people, but they're just a little bit too boring. You know, like Mitchell, yeah, he's cool, but like, man, like I don't really care about his personality. Like he's okay, like meh. I'd rather see people that I've never seen before. Like the people in the UK one, I'm like, I've really never met anybody like any of them before, you know?
Literally.
And so it's so interesting. And then they have an accent, and I think the US are forgetting its accents are really, it's just compelling. And they're funny, and they're different.
If you look at the cast of UK2, you have, and the profiles, not the people, any one of those people could have been a catfish because they were all just so different from one another. Whereas this one on US 2, you have, you know, 2 Instagram models that, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of the same. You literally have 3 Instagram models. You have like Chloe, you had Bryant, and you have Mitchell, who are literally all like Instagram influencers, and that's their job. So I'm like,
Courtney's kind of an influencer too, because he does the YouTube.
Who is?
Courtney's kind of an influencer as well. Truthfully.
Yeah. He actually I found him on Instagram and he had like 3,000 followers.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's not like, you know, he's not like a model like the other ones who had like already, you know.
Nova.
Yeah. But that's kind of where the US kind of falls flat, is they're bringing on just like already kind of internet famous people, thinking that, oh, like this is going to have a draw, but they don't realize that the circle itself is already having enough draw that they don't have to pull people who have like 90K followers on Instagram, because people are going to watch it anyway, you know?
Just make the people interesting and people will watch. It's just how it goes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you guys excited to find out when Chloe finds out that Trevor was actually a woman and she should have been flirting with Mitchell the whole time? Because that is, I'm ready for that moment.
I'm ready for that moment. It'll probably happen at the finale, most likely. But then she'll see Trevor or Mitchell and be like, "Oh, well, you're real," and she'll just, I don't think that it will really bother her in the long run to like go to Mitchell after, because they're just typing right now. And this is real life. I think she'll still go for Trevor, 100%.
Yeah.
I think she is.
I honestly feel like Chloe could win because people strategically vote in the finale.
How does the person win again?
Everybody ranks everybody.
Everybody, like the people eliminated, rank?
No, just the top 5.
Top 5 rank. Yeah, Chloe could win.
I mean, I just know, though, American Pride would not allow a UK person to win. I just don't see them letting that happen. Like, then letting a UK person take the Monday? No way!
Oh, yeah, you're right. Everyone's like, this is America.
There's no way.
I could see Courtney winning.
I don't know. I mean, I really like Courtney, but I find that he's not adaptable, in my opinion, enough. And so he's just really like one track mind, like I'm getting this person out, I'm avenging Savannah, like I hate Teralisha, everything she says I'm gonna pretend like she didn't say it. And like they played that game, like who said what or whatever it was, where people were saying these anonymous
Anonymous.
Oh, there we go. Anonymous. I'm like, whoa, why am I even flipping words around?
I love a sequence moment.
Quotes. And people were saying, like, you know, he seems to be acting really nice and it doesn't seem to be real. And like, it's true. He's kind of been lying about how she really feels and be like, oh, like I don't really buy it, but I'm going to pretend like I am. Like, oh, girl. And like, he's totally faking it. And so I think that some people might start realizing that he's not real with them, and he needs to start making connections with the people that he's trying to target, because I think that making him separate and having enemies is not good. And I think that that's what got in the way of Teralisha and in Savannah, was the fact that they created this rift and now they had both basically leave because people didn't want to work with them anymore. And so I'm worried that he's still kind of creating divides and not mending those fences in order for everybody to want him to be there, not just half the house.
Totally. Because I feel like Courtney's playing this game like it's Big Brother, and it's not. The circle is very much like everyone wants to. Like the circle is RuPaul's best friend race. Mm-hmm. Like it really is. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like Courtney has made like a genuine friendship with anybody yet. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like, you know, like the Rivers and the Chloes have actually gone and like had real conversations with people and talked about their actual lives, where I don't really feel like Courtney has, you know? So I think that's kind of his downfall.
He is in that Kardashian chat, which I think will be helpful for him to have, like, but I can also see him just like turning on me, like, I don't really trust Chloe that much, and like kind of going against that. So he needs to build some bonds with people that he may not trust that much, because it doesn't really matter. You just need them to vote you high.
Totally. Totally.
And people, it changes every round. So last season, the top 6 ranks in the 6th place immediately blocked from rest results to reveal the finale. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Because I think 6th place was Ed and his mom, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Probably.
I thought they were out like relatively quickly.
Well, they were the last intruder. So they were out quickly, but it was right after they came in. Yeah.
So, okay, Chantele, Josh and I were talking about this. Do you think that you can come in after these? So Kat and Mitchell, the first intruders, I think that one of them could fully win the circle. Mm-hmm. Right?
I think Kat could win.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the next intruders that come in after them, do you think they have a shot at winning the circle?
The thing is, yes, because if the players were actually ranking kind of strategically, they would be putting, like, they wouldn't be putting the people that they actually think are like supposed, like that they're the best person. They wouldn't be putting them in first place, because like, well, no, they're going to put them in first place. So everybody that they would put in first place, they're not going to put in first place. And that would mean that a lot of people should be putting the new people in first place, being like, oh, well, nobody's going to put them in first place because they're not part of the circle fam. So I think that if all the players were actually ranking strategically, I think that they could potentially pull out a win, because the new people they should be thinking that they wouldn't be getting votes from everybody. And so let me put them on top and then put everybody else below. So it is possible, but I think that most people don't even think to do that. And so, no, I don't think that they have a really good shot.
Yeah, I almost feel like if you are not the first intruders in, like, you're just there to stir it up. Like, if I ever got on the circle and I was not the first, if I was not originals or first intruders in, I'm like, okay, I'm here for chaos and to be good television. and to get Instagram followers, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
That is definitely the attitude I think that the people in the end need to go in with, because it's just too hard to penetrate these alliances and these people that have been there for the last couple weeks together. I mean, I probably would try to try to make friendships with everybody, and I don't know, I would probably cause a lot of chaos because I'd just be trying anything and everything that I could to see if I could win, but I wouldn't think that I actually had a shot.
I would honestly wouldn't give somebody who came into the game late the win, because the people from day one have worked hard to get to the end to begin with. Totally. Yeah. I get what you're saying. It's weird when you do get to the finale and there is that person who has only survived one blocking and they're just in the finale, and you're like,
why are they there?
You're like, okay.
Yeah, so would
I guess. I guess technically you're a finalist. Fine.
They usually have two sets of people that are potentially going to be in the finale, no matter one of two, two. And so it's kind of well, they didn't do anything to work to be there. And so I wish that maybe they brought in, they could bring in all these new people, but maybe bring them in sooner in the beginning and allow them at least to us to get to know them and want them to maybe to win. Yeah, or make the season a little bit a week longer. I don't like people in the finale that I haven't gotten to know myself, because I'm just I would rather see somebody that I did get to know that just got blocked because these two new people were safe. I'd rather that person be in the finale,
Yeah, that's what's kind of weird about the circle, is that I feel like they need to stop the intruders earlier, and if that means having more people in the circle, I think that might be the answer, because I feel like it's such a revolving door that by the time you get to the finale, it's just who is this one person or these two people? You know what I mean? Why are they even here? It's just weird. It seems like an unfair advantage that's also a death sentence at the same time.
That's the position that they should have put Lance in, because just have Lance come in late. Nobody's going to believe it's them. You'll get you could use him in the trailers for a couple weeks. Be ooh, Lance is going to be coming in as as a whatever soon.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't think that he came in week 2 or whatever, episode 2. I just don't think that he was the right person to be in there long term, because I just didn't see him going far.
Lance Bass was the first intruder.
Yeah, Lance Bass the first intruder. I think Lance Bass should have been the last intruder, in my opinion. I think so, because he's not gonna win. People know that it's not Lance Bass. He should be there to stir up shit,
Yeah.
That's why it was bad timing to put Lisa in. She should have gone in now, around this time.
Lance is totally on the publicity train right now, because we see him obviously in Drag Race, and then I saw him in something else. I'm you're here too. I can't remember what it was now, but I recently saw him yesterday in something else. I'm Lance again? He's everywhere right now. So I guess
Lance Bass releasing a solo album. What is going on?
Maybe he's gonna have a reality show, Life with Lance.
Anyway, y'all, I feel like we're getting close to wrapping this up. I'd like to know, who do you guys think is the next out? Who do we think is going next? Who do we think are going to be our next influencers, and who do we think is gone next?
Okay, so next influencer I think could be Kat. I think Kat's really well liked. I think Kat's probably next influencer. I think next out, because it's not going to be this duo, because this duo will be safe for the first one. So I don't know. It could be Courtney. Could be Mitchell. I think it's going to be one of the two of them.
Well, if Kat's the influencer, it's not going to be Mitchell, because she's definitely keeping in him as they came in at the same time.
Yeah.
I do feel she would protect Trevor as well, so it wouldn't be Trevor. Who does Kat think is a catfish? She thinks River is a catfish. No,
no, she thinks River's real.
Oh,
wouldn't
she
be
thought
Chloe.
Lance.
Would she eliminate Chloe?
I think she likes Chloe, doesn't she?
Yeah, but like Lance, see, like Lisa and Jack are going to be a new character who will be safe from the first one.
Yeah.
Ooh, Chloe.
I think Kat would block River.
I don't know. I haven't written down anything of them like bonding. So
I know. Like there's Kat liked Trevor because they had that chat with Terralisha. Yeah, I think really River is the only person that Kat hasn't spoken to.
Yeah, so Kat would take out River. That's if Kat wins, though. If it's
Chloe, who would it be?
if Chloe was the main person,
I could see Chloe taking out Trevor so that she can talk to Mitchell.
yeah, I could see that too.
Oh my goodness!
Am I wrong though?
No, I'm like gagged because I'm like that's probably what it is. She's so ruthless like that behind like this sweet face. Like she would do that. I was saying that like Chloe, I love her. I think she's a great addition to the show, but she's very fickle, and she will like drop you drop like look, you know, she starts the Kardashian chat, and all of a sudden Emily, who like she's very quick to lose like a closest friend in the circle, and I think the same with like the boyfriend thing. But what about the friend zone? Like she got heavily friend zoned by Mitchell.
Oh, that's true. She could take Mitchell out because she's just
take
like,
Mitchell
friend
out.
zoned me.
Mitchell is just meant to be there to give us some abs for like 2 episodes. So
Yeah.
I would be fine with Mitchell going. Bye.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Adrian, Courtney River getting blocked.
I don't think she
which
would
is
do.
sad because I like both of them.
I don't think she
Yeah.
would do Courtney. I don't think so.
I don't know. I really have no idea.
Personally, if
Hard
I
to
could
predict this
choose,
game.
if I could pick, I'd want Mitchell to go.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
mean,
Mitchell.
I still get to look at though, but he's straight, so no chance. So bye.
Like straight white man, next.
Oh,
No,
Man.
next. Sorry.
Like
Alternatively, I could see Trevor getting influencer this week. And if Trevor is the influencer, who do we think is going?
Mitchell.
Mitchell?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. If Trevor gets Mitchell's gone. No question. Trevor is jealous or like scared of Mitchell.
Because Trevor wants to be the alpha male.
The alpha male, the hot guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like Mitchell's days are numbered in the circle. From friend zoning Chloe.
Don't friend zone Chloe.
You friend zone Chloe, and now Emily is gone. So I feel like Mitchell's days are kind of numbered right now.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, please let us know what you think. We want to know. I feel like there's just going to be, I feel like no matter what, it's going to be messy. I'll say that.
We'll see what happens. We'll go with that.
So I guess this brings us to our superlatives of the week. So our top influencer. So this doesn't have to be who was the best influencer of the game, but for these 4 episodes, who was your star? Who shined like a diamond? Who is the one that you're like, that person, that was the best? Chantele, do you want to kick us off with this?
Yes, it's our girl Kat. She came in like a diamond. She was bright. The first thing that I noticed too was like they must have had to change all the camera angles because half of her head was being cut off when she just walked into the circle, and so I thought that was quite humorous. And hopefully they'll fix that because she's like 6 foot something, 6'3", I think, probably maybe 6'4". And so, but she has she's beautiful. She has a great personality. She's sussing out the catfishes. She's making really good friendships with people. She's loyal to Mitchell. Like I just think that she's doing the circle right. And so I want to see her do well, and I hope that she's successful. So she's my top influencer of the week.
Absolutely. I have to full-heartedly agree with that. She's wonderful television because she's just so fun, and she's really playing the game well. Josh, what would you say?
I mean, I also agree on Kat, but I will say Chloe, my girl Chloe, I love her. She's so much fun. She's great TV. Like with this love triangle she has going on there, it's fantastic. So I'll say Chloe as well.
And I
Along
also
with Kat.
like Kat even has started something with Chloe being like Tall Girls Unite or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And so she has a little bit of a bond with Chloe going as well. And so hopefully that will start to get nurtured a little bit, because it seems like Chloe, she has a lot of influence in the house without really doing that much. And so I think that she's a good person to have on side. So
and a lot of influence without stepping on anyone's toes. Like no one's mad at her.
Exactly. She's very, very good at maneuvering herself, but people being like not mad at her. Absolutely.
Exactly. So let's bring up our next superlative. Our next category is our bottom ranked. Who do you think was our sloppiest player or sloppiest moment? It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a moment. It could be an outfit. It could be... Josh, kick us off. What was your bottom ranked moment, person, place, thing?
There is only one good answer for this, and that is that mannequin Lord Mary Moses. What did he/she do? What did they do? That was a mess. That literally looked like I'm a dude should have been written on
the Exactly. And it looks like Adrian agrees. What would you say, Chantele, for your bottom ranked?
I think just having Lisa Lance on the show. They brought me nothing. Like nothing other than maybe like commentary of just like saying how bad they were. But like they're just wasn't fun, wasn't funny, wasn't likable, wasn't good at making like connections with people, didn't share any fun stories, like didn't do any of these challenges well. His haircut was abysmal for his mannequin. It just like, why there other than to say the name Lance Bass? Like there was nothing of interest that she brought, in my opinion, to the show other than a photograph. And so it would have been a better probably playing on Lance if it was a computer generated like responses. Like I think it would have been more funny and more interesting if a computer did random responses to everything that was being asked of him in the circle.
How wild would it be if there was an AI profile in the circle?
That's kind
of fun. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. No, that is absolutely a bottom rank for sure. I think my bottom ranked of these 4 episodes would have to be when Mitchell asked Emily, what are your top 3 makeup brands? And Emily said some like random makeup that she had. And then she said Maybelline and Collection Co.
Maybelline.
I think it was good. I think they bought that. I'm like, who would buy that? Because you can't buy that because they're not real brands other than Maybelline, and nobody would be saying Maybelline as like a top brand that they choose.
Yes, like, I'm a Maybelline gal.
Things like NYX Cosmetics and MAC and what's the other one?
Urban Decay, baby.
Kat Von, whatever, like anything. NARS, like there's millions. I think he should have just went safe and just be like, I don't know. I just always get like the samples at Sephora or something like that. Like I don't know, something like that because Sephora has every brand, and at least you know.
Oh yeah.
Like I always get my makeup done at Sephora, so I have absolutely no idea.
I love Sephora, by the way. BTW. Sephora is amazing. So great answer.
Yeah, that moment was just so sloppy. When Jack said Maybelline, I'm like, girl, you are done.
She's clearly not a Maybelline queen. Okay.
You'll never work in this town again. You're done.
Nobody's saying Maybelline, even if they use it.
You will never see a Maybelline girl saying that she wears Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I can't. I literally cannot. Anyway, y'all, we will see all of you next Saturday at 1 to talk about the circle and talk about all the happenings on. So let us plug ourselves. Make sure to go follow Chantele.
Ooh, me.
Oh, yes, you. There's. You want to go ahead and plug yourself, Chantele?
I mean, you can see all my, socials underneath here, but if you find me on YouTube at Reality Realness with 3 S's, I will be there I do a full breakdown of the circle on Thursday evenings with Matt Hunt. So you can join us there for that. And then Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do right after the episode, Big Brother Canada. And we're doing on Friday nights, we're doing the challenge All Stars at 10 p.m. Eastern. So still lots of content on Reality Realness with 3 S's.
We love to see it. We love it. We love it. We love it. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, y'all. My Instagram is at alexknowsitall.jpg. Send me a message. Talk to me about reality TV. I'm really nice.
And you can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Mendels8. I guess I like the number 8, so Mendels8. 8. All right. And then you can follow our channel at Couch Potato Queens. It's Couch Potato QWNZ. And subscribe to our channel, Couch Potato Queens on YouTube. We have a lot planned. I know Alex will be doing The Bachelorette over the summer. Me and Alex. Chantele, we're going to be doing Big Brother over the summer as well. We're figuring that out. Big Brother US, when that happens. We have our Bravo podcast, which is every Friday. We're Bravo Bunch, and we have a lot more planned on our end. So stay tuned, everyone. Back to you, Alex.
Yep. So we will see you guys next week at 1 p.m. to have our circle chat. And don't let anybody dull your sparkle, pals. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.